You know, I use this word animation, and it's not Disney animation, but the animation that I talk about in real estate is really important, because most people who teach and coach in real estate investing are focused on, you know, buy really cheap, you know, buy through a foreclosure or buy something no one else is looking at. I understand that you want to buy smart and you want to buy, you know, as low as you possibly can. I get that. And then they're always focused again on costs. How do you reduce your costs? And again, you want to control your costs. I completely agree with that. But one of the things that we do that I think is different is we talk about the revenue side, and that's what I call the animations, right? So how do we animate a property? So let's say it's your principal residence, or it's just your first rental property that you bought. It's a little house. And you add a basement suite. Well, that's an animation. It adds some income. Or you put a garage office in and you rent that out. Or you put a shed in your backyard. Or you put some makerspace, what used to be called workshops and now called makerspace, in your backyard, and you rent that out. Or in Ottawa, in November of 2016, they put forward a plan to legalize coach houses. That's like a little granny flat in your backyard. And I have been campaigning and lobbying for a change in the zoning rules here in Ottawa for a long time, a couple of decades now, where they would allow coach houses. So you have your big house and maybe a basement apartment and maybe a coach house in the backyard. It animates the house. It obviously improves your cap rate, your capitalization rates, and boosts your income. It's all good. How did I get involved in those animations, and why am I thinking about that? Well, it goes back actually to my time at the University of California at Santa Cruz in 1969. That tells you how old I am. And I lived in a little granny flat or garden suite or coach house, and I remember the address. It was 1011 and a half Seabright Avenue. 1011 Seabright Avenue was the big house, and 1011 and a half Seabright Avenue was the little house in the back, and I lived there with my girlfriend. And we loved living there. It was a little one-bedroom coach house in the backyard. It had its own flower garden. My girlfriend could park her little V-Dub Beetle, the original Beetle, there. And I got to know the owner of the big house. And she seemed really incredibly old to me. She was probably the age I'm at now. And I got to know her, and I said, why did you build a coach house in your backyard? Because coach houses are well known in Northern California. They've been around for a long time. And she said, well, I built it because I like students, and frankly, I'm a little bit lonely. My children, my grandchildren don't visit me very often. And in fact, I knew that was true because in all the time I lived there, I never saw anyone visit her or call her even. So she said, I did it because I like students and I wanted company. And then she told me, as I got to know her a little bit better, that the other reason that she'd done it was because as an elder, she needed the extra money. So it helped her with her retirement, and it also provided a little bit extra security because, you know, there's concern, especially in certain parts of America, with security. So she did it to help herself financially. She did it because she was a bit lonely, and she did it also for extra security. So I carried with me that experience from 1969 until I came back to Ottawa in the 1980s, and then I started lobbying. I said, look, it won't just help the landlord make a little bit of money. It will provide more affordable housing, which is, I think, needed. It will densify our urban areas, and it will also make them more interesting. And I know people are concerned, gee, if my neighbor builds a coach house in her backyard, will my property value go down? And in fact, the experience is just the opposite. If you look at some of the better neighborhoods, not just in Ottawa, but in Toronto or San Francisco, you walk around some of these old neighborhoods, you'll see lots of houses that have basement apartments, attic apartments, apartments above the garage, and also little coach houses in the backyard. And these are often the most desirable, most walkable neighborhoods. So I'm very, very bullish on Ottawa and what we've done here, and I congratulate the planners who've done it as of November 2016.